Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Clement, and I want to welcome every one of you to my platform this afternoon. How are you all doing today? I hope you went to church today, for those who are Christians, and hope you enjoyed service today. I want to discuss with you briefly a topic that I started 2 weeks ago, and I said that throughout the month of November we're going to be discussing this topic, and I titled the topic Creating the Future of Your Dreams. Creating the Future of Your Dreams. I would like to know if you're joining. Could you just write a comment, let me know that you are watching me, and I would also like to know if you can hear me. I can see 2 persons online, but I can't actually see the names of those who are online. So if you're online, you could just write a comment and let me know where you're watching from. And then I'll plead with you to help me share the video too, to share the link and invite more people to come, because I believe that they will benefit from it too. Because what we're discussing today, it cuts across everybody. Everybody will be blessed by it. Whether they are Christians or Muslims or atheists, whoever they are, Buddhists, just invite them and let them come and join us today. And I believe that they will learn something from. Okay, my sister is there. Sister Bridget, you're welcome. I'm glad to have you on my platform. Wow, what a surprise. You're welcome. How you doing, and how's your husband and your baby? You're welcome on my platform. Please, as you're coming in, could you just help me share the link and then invite people to come? Invite your friends, your family members, whoever you think you love so much. Please share the video and invite them to come, because they are going to learn a lot today. And I said the topic, I started a series last 2 weeks, and I titled it Creating the Future of Your Dreams. I would like to know if you can hear me, by the way. Please, if you can hear me, I would like you to just write that you can hear me. Let me know if I need to fix my earpiece or not. But if you can hear me, I wouldn't need to fix my earpiece. Okay. So please, can you write if you can hear me? Okay, cool. The audio is good, so we can go ahead. Now, creating the future of your dreams. I started by saying last week that most people actually have wonderful dreams. Yes, thank you, Marvelous. Thank you so much. You're welcome on the platform. You can hear me. Now, I said that most people actually have very great dreams and great visions. You know, they have in their mind the kind of future that they want. People have big dreams of how they want their future to look like. You know, some people say, I'm going to be very wealthy, I'm going to be very rich tomorrow. Others said, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that, I'm going to be great. Wonderful. A lot of, dreams and aspirations, a lot of ambitions. But then I said last week that what actually determines the future of a man? What are the determinants of how a man's future eventually gets to turn out? Am I going to have a bright future because I have a big dream? Am I going to have a great future just because I know how to pray very well? Is it prayers that determines the man's future? And last week I said also that could it be that a man's prophet determines how his future will be like? And then I went ahead to also say that is it luck that determines a man's future? Is it miracle that determines a man's future? How can I create the future of my dreams? Is it God who determines how my future will be like? Now, all of these I introduced last 2 weeks when I came live, and we were able to, say that the future of a man is only dependent on what the man creates now. In other words, every man's future is going to be created by that man. Mrs. Chinwe Ananaba, you're welcome on the platform. I'm glad to have you. So your future can be created. In other words, your future is not just dependent on luck. It's not just dependent on prayers. It's not dependent on God. It's not dependent on your prophets. It's not dependent on your family background. It's not dependent on your country of origin. We said that the future that you are going to have is going to be dependent on what you create now. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that your future depends on the actions that you take today. You create your future by your actions. I said that last week. Now today, what is the topic we're looking at today? We are still on the series, Creating the Future of Your Dreams. But then today, I want to measure on the issue of luck. What is the role of luck in your future? L-U-C-K. What is the role of luck? Or what is the role of chance in your future? How does luck affect your future? Now, permit me to say that I have seen a lot of people who are just depending on luck, that one day they are going to make it. One day they are going to become wealthy. One day, one miracle will just happen, and they'll become great. But today, I want to show you the role of luck in determining a man's future. Does luck have any role to play at all? Should I just leave my future to luck? Or is there something I have to do to create that future of my dream? So today, we're going to look at what luck is. What is luck? And why should I, not leave my future to luck? Why should I not leave my future to luck? Why should I not depend on luck? We're going to see examples of people who created their future by themselves. They were not depending on luck. They were not waiting on luck. Now, let me tell you how luck was defined by the Cambridge Dictionary. Luck, the force that causes things, especially good things, to happen to you by chance, not as a result of your own efforts or abilities. So luck is that force that causes good things to happen to you by chance, not as a result of your own effort or abilities. Now, from that definition, we see that luck is equal to chance. In other words, whenever I say I'm going to be lucky tomorrow, I'm going to have a bright future tomorrow by luck, I'm simply leaving my future to chance. I'm simply expecting that something good will just happen from nowhere. That one politician will just call me and connect me to some big men somewhere. I'm just expecting that, one prophet will just prophesy about my future and that future will just happen. So I'm leaving my future to luck, to chance. And believe me, I grew up in Nigeria, in a place called Warri. And in Warri, you hear guys say, man, I know say I go make am. I go hammer one day. Now, what do they mean by I go hammer one day? They are simply saying that one day, I'm going to become so rich. I know I'm going to make it. Positive confession. But if you ask them what they are doing, that will make them hammer, that will make them become rich, nothing. They are not doing anything that will bring that great future that they are confessing. I have also seen Christians who go to church, and then, by the way, I'm a pastor, But I've seen Christians who go to church and then they just confess positively. I know I'm going to be wealthy. The blessings of Abraham are coming to me. They just quote scriptures. I have been blessed with all spiritual blessings. Yes. But their future is empty. Why? Because they are not doing anything. They are just confessing and confessing. There's no action. Why? If you keep confessing and confessing, you are just depending on luck or on miracle or, just chance that tomorrow God will just do something and then I will have a great future. But I'm going to show you today that all the great names that we know in history, they didn't become great by chance. They didn't become great by luck. They were not just folding their arms and then depending on luck and just positive confession. When you are just confessing positively and there are no actions to back up your confessions, you are daydreaming. That future will never come. Because I told you last 2 weeks that you only create your future by your actions, not by your confessions. So when you are just confessing and just relaxing and expecting one miracle to happen for you to become great, it will not happen. You will keep confessing until you die. You will die poor. You will die in non-entity. Nobody will know you. You will not make any impact in the world. Why? Because you are not doing anything. You are only confessing and just expecting that luck will happen one day. Unfortunately, greatness is not dependent on luck. Riches are not dependent on luck. If you ever get anything by luck, you need hard work to even sustain it. If not, you will lose it again. So what am I saying today? I'm saying that luck has almost no role at all to play in creating the future of your dreams. So if you are depending on luck, I'm sorry to say you'll be disappointed. There are a lot of people who have been confessing and depending on luck, pronouncing, positive statements, just expecting luck to bring it to pass. Most of them, almost 99% of them, never got that thing that they were confessing. Why? Because they didn't do anything. They were just hoping on luck. Now let me show you one quote by Waldo Emerson. Look at what he said. He said, "Shallow men believe in luck or in circumstance. Shallow men believe in luck or in circumstance, in chance. Strong men believe in cause and effect." What is Waldo Emerson saying? He's saying that if you are depending on luck, that your future is going to be bright, it's going to be great, you're going to be successful, just by luck, you are a shallow man. You are a shallow woman. You are a shallow boy. You are just shallow. And if you are a shallow person, you're going to have a shallow future. All of those dreams will not come to pass by luck. So, why? Because strong men, they believe in cause and effect. For there to be an effect, there has to be a cause. Nothing just happens. Everything happens because there is a cause. Now, what is Waldo Emerson saying? He's saying that for you to get anything, you must have done something. In other words, there has to be a cause for there to be an effect. And the Newton law of motion said it also, that a body will remain in a state of rest, or if the body is in motion, will continue moving until a force acts on it. Now, what does that mean? It means that a body will remain at rest if I don't push it, if I don't apply a force to it. Or if the body is already moving, if I don't apply a force to it, I can't stop the body from moving. Now, what does that mean? It means that everything is dependent on force or on cause. It is cause that gives birth to effect. Now, for your future, to have that great future that you are dreaming of, there has to be a cause. There has to be an action. You have to have some action, some force, something you are doing to create that future. If you just say, oh, my future is going to be bright, I had a dream that I'm going to have a great future, and you do nothing, there will be no effect. So when you are depending on luck, what you are simply doing is that you are expecting something to happen. You are expecting an effect without a cause. You have not, put on the ignition. You've not changed the gear of the car. And you are expecting the car to move by itself. That is what you are doing when you are depending on luck for your future. So any man who is depending on luck to have a bright future is a shallow man. And your future is going to be as shallow as you are. But strong men depend on cause and effect. Just last week, a friend of mine was saying to another friend, he said, I know you are going to be very rich in the future. You are going to be so rich. I know it. And I said to him, how? Now, why did I ask him how? I asked him how because this guy is not doing any business. I don't see him doing anything that will bring money. And you are saying this guy is going to be very rich. So I asked, how? Give me the how. What are you doing now that will bring that money? What are you doing that will make you great tomorrow? What is the effort you are putting in to bring that success that you are dreaming of? None. And so I just knew that he was just depending on luck, and that is how, let me tell you, over 90% of people on the earth are living by chance. They can't tell you categorically that this is the plan, this is what I have done, this is what I'm doing that will make my future be like this. They can't tell you exactly how the future will be like. They will only speculate and only daydream and just be wishing for a great future. But I'm saying to you today that if you're going to have a great future, you are going to create it by yourself. Not just depending on luck or on chance that something good will just happen to me tomorrow. No. If you're doing that, you're already a failure. You are already on your way to having a future that you will regret. So, the future is not dependent on luck. It's not dependent on chance. Don't you ever leave your future to chance. Because without cause, there will be no effect. And you see, that is the reason why, if you go to Africa, my country, Nigeria especially, you see a lot of people who are going to church, going from one crusade to another crusade. What are they looking for? They are looking for one miracle that will just happen, that will, break them forth into wealth, sudden wealth. They want to just become prominent all of a sudden. They just want something, one connection to just happen to give them, a bright future. They go from this church to another church. If they don't get the miracle, then they go to another church, just looking for one prophet to just prophesy, their future to them. Now, and they've been doing this for so many years, and most of them no result to show. Why? Because if, for example, I'm supposed to, study, I'm supposed to read and become so knowledgeable about my field, and then I refuse to read, and then I'm going to church to expect one pastor to pray for me or to prophesy for me that I'm going to become successful in that career, it will never happen. Why? Because I have not done the course. I have not done the action, what I need to do. I have not studied. So it doesn't matter how many prophets and pastors I run to, I will still fail. Why? Because life is not dependent on luck, or on chance, or on miracle. No. Life is dependent on the actions that you take now. So don't leave your future to chance. If you do that, you are going to be creating a very shallow future. A future that you will regret. So what do I need to do? I need to work for my future. I need to create it. The definition of luck that we said is that a great force that causes something to happen without your own efforts. Now, how can you not take any efforts and you are just expecting one bright future? It's not going to happen. You are only going to be living an illusion. You'll be deceiving yourself to just expect that something will just happen tomorrow and then you'll have one great future. Or my papa will just lay hands on me, or my pastor will just prophesy for me and then my future will just be great. No, it doesn't happen that way. Every great person that you see today They did something. They took some actions. They put in effort to get to where they are today. So don't be deceived, thinking that you will just, stumble into greatness. It doesn't happen that way. To create a great future, luck is not one of the factors. Chance is not a determinant. Miracle is not a determinant. You have to create your future by yourself, by your actions. Now, let me show you another quote by William Bryan. He said, "Destiny is not a matter of chance." Did you see that? Destiny is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. It is not a thing to be waited for. It is a thing to be achieved. Most people are just waiting for a great future to happen. Most people are just waiting for a successful future. You don't wait for it. You achieve it. How do you achieve it? You achieve it by your actions. I told you last week that Mahatma Gandhi said that your future depends on the actions that you take today. So what are the actions that you are taking? What are you doing? What are you doing today now that makes you think that you're going to have a bright future tomorrow? What are the actions? What are the steps that you have taken that makes you believe that you're going to have a bright future tomorrow? Are you just saying it because you think that, oh, God is going to do it? Or my uncle is going to connect me to somebody? Or one miracle will just happen? If you are still depending on luck and on chance, I'm sorry to say that you will keep hoping and keep waiting for the future. That future that you are looking for, you will never see it. It will not come until you take the necessary actions that you need to take. Now, why do you think that Michael Jordan, for example, was one of the greatest, basketballers of all time? You think it was luck that took him there? He was just lucky and became the best basketballer? You think it was luck? Or you think that Serena Williams and Venus Williams are the best tennis players by luck? Now, go and read history. Anybody who has become a champion in his field, anybody who has become successful in his career, did not get that success by luck. It is not luck. It is not chance. It is not miracle. They all, put in the necessary efforts. The effect that you see today was a product of the cause, of the action that they put in time past. Because I told you that your future is going to be dependent on what you are doing today. So don't you ever depend on luck. Because if you do, nothing will happen. Nothing. Luck is not what gives birth to greatness. I want to say that again. Luck doesn't give birth to greatness. If you stumble into success, if you don't carry out any action, you will crumble again. Why? Because greatness is not dependent on luck. Success is not dependent on luck. It is dependent on cause and effect. It is dependent on actions, on what you are doing now. And some people are saying, oh, okay, the future is still far, and so now you're not doing anything. The future is still far. Let me tell you the truth. Tomorrow is the future that we're talking about. The next 1 hour is the future we are talking about. So if you are thinking that the future is still far, before you know it, you are 70 years old and you've not achieved anything with your life. You are 50 and you've not done anything with your life. Why? Because you are thinking the future is still far and you are going to act tomorrow. You don't want to act now. No. It is not the actions you take tomorrow that will determine your future. It is the actions you take now. What are you doing now? That is what will determine your future. Debbie, Oni, you're welcome. Good evening to you. I'm glad to have you. This is Callistus. You're welcome on the platform. I'm glad to have you. And I saw Mrs. Augusta. You're welcome on the platform too. I'm glad to have every one of you. So we are discussing a series that I titled Creating the Future of Your Dreams. Creating the Future of Your Dreams. But today we are looking at a topic that says the role of luck, chance, or miracle in determining your future. What role does luck have to play in determining your future? That is what we are looking at today. And we are saying that it is only shallow-minded people that are depending on luck to have a great future. Only weak-hearted people, lazy people are the ones who just fold their arms expecting luck to happen to them to have a great future. Now let me show you what Seneca said about luck. Now listen to this. He said luck is what happens when preparations meet opportunity. Now listen to this again. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. So I want to say to you, if you are waiting for luck, you are depending on luck, there is something you must first of all do. You must first of all be prepared, because luck only happens when preparation meets opportunity. But if you are not prepared, luck will never happen to you. Miracle will never happen to you. Chance will not happen to you. Chance only happens to people who are prepared. Luck only happens to people who are prepared. And so luck, actually according to Seneca, luck means preparation meeting opportunity. Now, okay, let's assume that you are just hoping that one day you are going to become the president of your country. That's your dream. That's your big dream. That's the future you're seeing. You want to become the president of your country. And then, all of a sudden, there is an opportunity. And that opportunity is that out of 5 people who were selected, you are one of these 5 persons who have been selected to become the next president. But whoever is going to become the president is going to be the most prepared person. And then a stage was arranged for the 5 of you to come and give a manifesto. Come and tell us what you will do when you become the president. Come and tell us what you know about presidency, what you know about governance of nations, or what you know about leadership. If you have never read anything about leadership, about governance, you don't know anything about politics, you don't even know the history of your country, you don't know who the last 2 presidents was, you don't know who the first president of your country was, you don't know what other presidents that led, what they did, and how some of them failed, and how they succeeded, and then you come to the stage, and they ask you a simple question about the country that you said you want to lead, and you cannot answer. You have just gotten an opportunity, but you blew it because you are not prepared. There is no way I will vote for you as my president when they say, okay, come and even recite the national anthem, and you cannot recite it, and you want to become my president? Are you joking? Are you kidding me? Now, if there is another person there who has read and prepared himself, who has been following events in the country, who is well informed about what it takes to be a president, about what it takes to be a leader, that is the person that everybody will vote for. Even if you were chosen by luck, by chance, to be among the 5 persons that were running, if you were handpicked specially, just for the singular reason that you are not prepared, you lose that opportunity. That great future will never happen. So, what am I trying to say? Luck only happens to those who are prepared. If you are not prepared, opportunities will pass you by. Now, what will you do now if for example, let's assume this is Ukraine. Now, let's assume, for example, that Bill Gates comes to Ukraine. And then Bill Gates says, okay, I want to raise 10 millionaires. But the condition of raising those 10 millionaires is that they are going to be very good in IT. They are going to be good in information technology. They are going to be very good with a computer. And then, fortunately for you, you were selected to be among, let's say 20 persons were chosen, and you were among the 20. By chance, you were just picked to be among the 20 persons. But out of that 20, Bill Gates needs only 10 people who are very good with IT. Now, you have joined the list of 20 by chance, but now, out of that 20, 10 people are going to be selected. But this time around, these 10 persons that are going to be selected, it is not going to be by luck. It's going to be by what they know, what they have upstairs. And then you can't even type on the computer. You know nothing about information technology, nothing. Tell me, which miracle will happen that will make you part of the 10 that will be chosen? No miracle. Even though there is an opportunity, you will lose it because you are not prepared. Now, that is how your future is. In life, a lot of opportunities will be passing you by every day. But if you are not prepared, you will lose them. They'll pass you by. You will only be wishing for a great future, but you cannot even recognize opportunities when you see them because you are not prepared. You are not. The other 10 persons will be chosen and made millionaires, but just because you are not prepared, you will not be selected. So, luck only happens to those who are prepared. And luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. So if you really want to have a great future, you have to prepare for it. You have to choose in which area of life you want to have a great future. In which area of life you want to be successful. And prepare, study everything you need to study in that area. Become so good in it that when there is a chance to pick somebody, you'll be picked. Not because they just love you, but because of what you know, because you have prepared yourself. So, what am I trying to say? Don't leave your future to chance. Don't leave it to luck. You must be prepared for the future. The future belongs to those who prepare for it. And I told you last week that education is the passport to the future. I think it was Malcolm X who said that. That education is the passport to the future. Because the future belongs to those who prepare for it. So if you are not prepared for the future, there is no amount of luck that will happen to you that will give you a great future. There is no amount of miracle that will happen to you that will give you a great future. Even if they pick you today, say come and become the president of Nigeria or the president of the US, if they pick you by chance and you get there and you're not prepared, it will not, in the next 1 month, they'll kick you out of office. They'll cast a vote of no confidence on you. Why? Because you are not prepared. So preparation is key to having a great future. And preparation is a product of your actions. What are you doing today? What are you doing with your life? Are you just sitting back watching Iroko TV? Or just sitting back playing Candy Crush? And you think you want to have a great future? You use all your time on frivolities, on irrelevant things, and you are dreaming to have a great future by luck or by chance? You are joking. It won't happen. It will never happen. Even God himself cannot help you because you are not prepared. Because you are not prepared. So what am I simply saying? Don't leave your future to chance. Don't leave it to luck. Destiny is not dependent on luck. Destiny is not dependent on chance. Destiny is only dependent on your actions. It's dependent on how prepared you are for the future. How prepared you are for the future. You think Bill Gates became Bill Gates by luck? You think it's by luck? You know, the other day I was talking about Dangote, Aliko Dangote, and you know, my classmate said to me, he said that forget about Dangote, he became rich because politics helped him. That it was through politics that Dangote became the richest man in Nigeria and in Africa. That it was through politics. And then I said to him, you mean through politics? Now, what happened to every other person who is doing business? Why didn't politics help them? Why is it that it was Dangote that politics helped? And before Dangote came into the scene, were there no people who would have, been helped by politics? And I said to him, listen to me. I was reading the biography of Dangote, and I saw where he said that out of 24 hours a day, he sleeps just maybe barely 4 hours. In other words, he's working for, close to 20 hours. Only 4 hours or probably 5 hours. He's always working. The same thing with any other great person you know. They are always working. They are working around the clock. They've done their homework well. So you can't tell me that, it was because of chance or luck that Dangote became the richest man. No. He's always working. He's always thinking. Bill Gates did not become Bill Gates by luck. Warren Buffett did not become Warren Buffett by luck. These guys are not the richest men in the world by luck. It was not luck that took them there. It was their actions, how prepared they are. So don't be deceived. Don't you ever think that, it is by luck. God just favored this person. God just loved this person, so God favored him. Are you kidding me? Why should God favor him and then leave you? What have you done against God? What is the criteria? Why should God favor the other person and leave you? Why should God even be favoring the unbelievers, making them the richest men in the world? Why should God be favoring Mark Zuckerberg and the Steve Jobs and the Bill Gates? Why? On what basis should God favor them? And then God left you alone and didn't favor you. You are serving God day and night. So why didn't God favor you? If it was by God's favor that these guys got what they got. If it's by luck or by chance or by miracle that they got it, why didn't that miracle happen to you? So what am I saying? Don't live your life to chance. Don't expect one miracle to happen. Seize the day. The day belongs to you. What you do every day is determined by you. And it is what you are doing every day that will determine the future you are going to have. So don't you ever think that, these guys are just favored. Or they were just lucky. No, it was not luck. Those of you who watch football, you know Messi and Ronaldo? You think it was by luck that they became the best football players? You think they were just lucky? People just loved them? And then they became the best players? No. They've paid the price of hard work. When they were young, when they were growing up, they've practiced football. They've gone for training. They've worked hard. All the skills they have, it was not God who gave them those skills. They worked it out. They played football from childhood, rehearsed and practiced. That is how they became the best footballers. So don't think that they are just favored or they're just lucky. It is not luck. You see, God has given us everything we need to succeed in life. He has given us everything. It is what we do with what He has given us that will determine how our future will be like. God has given you a mind. Use that mind. Stop folding your arms and expecting God to come and do another miracle again for you to have a great future. Stop sitting back and just relaxing, expecting luck to happen. Luck will not happen. You have to prepare. You have to use the brain that God has given you. Use your mind. God has given you time. What are you doing with your time? What are you doing with your time? You're sleeping? You're playing games? You're watching movies? And then you are still expecting God to come and do a miracle to make you great when He has given you everything that you need for life and godliness? Are you joking? So what am I saying today? If you want a great future, you have to create it. A man is a product of his past. What were you doing in the past? Your future, what we are seeing today, your present, is a product of what you did in the past. What actions did you take or didn't take? The actions you took or refused to take are the factor that have brought you to where you are today. And how your future will be like is going to be dependent on what you are doing with your life today. I heard Bill Gates, saying that he reads about 50 books in a year. In other words, that he reads one book every week. One book every week. And you are not reading any book. You don't read books on leadership. You don't read books on wealth creation. You don't read books on governance. And you want to have a great future. You are dreaming. It will not happen. It will not. Even at the level that Bill Gates has reached and Warren Buffett, they are still reading. And then you say, oh, I don't like to read. I don't like to read. Okay, don't like to read. You cannot be greater than what you know. You are a product of your knowledge. It is what you know that determines how your future will become. So if you just sit back and you are expecting luck to happen to you, you are not learning anything. No, you don't have any skills. You are leaving your talents to die, to waste. You don't activate them. You don't convert them. You don't work on them. No hard work. And you are expecting a great future. It will not happen. It doesn't matter how many oil they pour on your head, anointing oil they pour on your head. It doesn't matter how many prophets prophesy or how many pastors lay hands on you. Your future is not dependent on luck. It's not dependent on miracle. And it's not dependent on chance. It's only dependent on what you are able to do with your life now. What are you doing now? What are you doing? I give you one more quotation and then I'll begin to round off. Now, Colin Powell said this. Listen. He said, a dream doesn't become reality through magic. A dream does not become reality through magic. That you are dreaming to become the president of the country tomorrow, or that you are dreaming to become the richest man in the world or in your village, or that you are dreaming to become the best doctor in the world, or the best footballer in the world, or the best pastor, whatever you are dreaming of. It will not happen by magic. It will not happen by miracle. It will not happen by chance or by luck. A dream does not become reality through magic. Then how does it become reality? How does a dream become reality? How will that future that I'm hoping to get, how will it become reality? Listen to this. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. A dream does not become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. In other words, if I want to have a great future, if I want to create the future of my dreams, sweat, determination, and hard work. Not chance, not luck, not miracle. I have to work hard. I have to study. I have to practice. I have to rehearse. I have to spend sleepless nights. I have to learn and become the best in that field that I've chosen to become great. I have to do everything possible to make sure that I learn so much that nobody will know that thing more than me. That is how to become successful and to have a great future. So, if you choose medicine, for example, you want to become the best doctor in the world, I mean, it will not happen by chance. It will not happen by miracle. How will it happen? Hard work. Now, what is the hard work in that regard? The hard work is that you're going to study and read. When people are sleeping, you are reading. When they are watching TV, you are in the library. When they are playing Candy Crush, you are studying. Sleepless nights. That is how you become the best. You become so knowledgeable. Go and ask Ben Carson. It was not by luck that Ben Carson became, the best neurosurgeon. It was not by luck at all. It was not by chance. It was not by miracle. He proved himself. He had studied. He had read. He had acquired knowledge of neurosurgery. And thanks to that, he was able to separate conjoined twins. He was able to do those operations successfully. And that is how he became the Ben Carson that every doctor is dreaming to be like today. So it is not by luck or by chance. Go and ask him. He will tell you that it was hard work that took him there. Ask anybody. Any great or successful person go and ask them. They will tell you that it was not by luck. You don't stumble into success. If you stumble into success, sooner or later, if you don't carry out the necessary actions, you are going to crumble again. You're going to fall again. Because you don't have what it takes to sustain that success. So what have I been saying? I've been saying that your future is not dependent on luck. It's not dependent on chance. And it's not dependent on miracle. So all of you who are confessing, I know my future is bright, I know this and I know that, listen to me. All of those confessions are not what will create that future. It is your actions that will create that future. You can write it on your wall with paper on your wall and put it, I'm the greatest, I'm the this, I'm the that, and be confessing it every morning. If that is all you are doing, just to be confessing it, and your actions do not correspond to your confessions, nothing will happen. You will have a shallow future. Because you are just depending on luck and on chance. Just believing that, oh, one day things will get better. You have to seize the day. You have to decide the kind of future you want. And you have to begin to create it by your actions. If it is in the area of sports, you want to become successful and great, you want to become the fastest man in the world, go and ask Usain Bolt how he did it. It was not chance, it was not miracle. He was always practicing, rehearsing, training in the stadiums, sweating it out. He was so determined that not even the white guys could compete with him and defeat him. It was not by chance. He was not favored to have become, the fastest man in the world. So, everybody that you see that is doing great in one field or the other, that future did not come to them by luck. It didn't come to them by chance. It didn't come to them by miracle. It came to them by the action, by preparation, by sweating, by determination, and by hard work. That is how you create a great future. So, now, I want you to go home with this. The first thing you need to know today is that it is an error to leave your future to chance or to luck. It is an error. You are making the greatest mistake of your life if you are thinking that your future will just become great by luck or by chance or by error. Don't you ever do that, because it will never happen. You won't get that great future. Number two, you need to know that it is only shallow men, weak men, mediocre, that depend or that believe in luck. Strong men, great men, successful men, they depend on cause and effect. They know that I have taken this action and this is the result I will get. Action and reaction, that is cause and effect. When you put in the action, you get a reaction. Third law of motion. And they are equal and opposite. It is to the amount of force you put that determines the reaction you get. It is the amount of action, the amount of time you invest into creating that future, into developing your skills, into growing your knowledge, into improving yourself, that will determine how great your future will become. So, strong men depend on cause and effect. Number three, I want you to know that a dream does not become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. Now, I want to ask you, the future is in front of you. What will you do with it? How are you going to create it? What are you going to begin to do from now henceforth to create that future of your dream? What role is your hard work going to play in it? What are you going to do? I have just told you now that luck has zero effect on the future. It is not a factor at all in creating the future of your dream. It's not. So don't you ever relax and say, oh, it is going to happen by miracle or by chance. No, it will not happen. It will not happen. So hard work, sweat, and determination. Prepare yourself so that when the opportunity comes, you grab it immediately. But if opportunity comes to you and you are not prepared, you just be, it will pass you by. You'll be fumbling because you don't know what you have been asked to do. You have been chosen to do this thing that will take you to the path of greatness or success, but you are not prepared, you're not ready. And so you miss opportunities. So don't forget that opportunities, when they meet preparation, is what gives birth to what? Luck. So if you really want to be lucky, go and prepare yourself. Go and work hard. Go and study. Go and read. Go and train. Go and practice. That is how luck happens, when preparation meets opportunity. I'm going to come to you again next week by God's grace. to continue the series that is titled Creating the Future of Your Dreams. This is only part 2 of that series. And I believe that you were blessed today. I believe you learned something. And I want to encourage you to please share this video with your friends and let them watch it after now. Send to your family members, inbox it to them. Let them know that it is not chance, it is not luck, and it is not miracle that they should be depending on, in creating their future. That they rather should go and work hard, and, improve themselves and grow their knowledge, and then they are going to create that future of their dreams. Thank you everyone for joining me. I appreciate your presence. Thank you so much for your questions and your comments. And thanks to those who shared the video also. God bless you. Do have a lovely week. I love you all. Bye-bye.